I want to talk about some commonly used measures of central tendency. Central would be like the center. Tendency is something you often do. For example, I tend to hit snooze in the morning several times before I get up. So you'll hear measures of central tendency used in the news, newspapers, if they're talking about a really large set of numbers and they want to say kind of where the middle ground is. So for example, they'll talk about county scores, the average was this. They'll talk about average household incomes in a certain city or region or state. So if we're going to look at central tendencies, I think it makes sense to not look at a set of numbers that big because we're going to actually calculate it. So I'm going to use some test scores that I got. My first period took a pre-assessment the first day of school. I recorded their scores, so I've got their scores here. So the first measurement that I want to show you is the mean, and that's probably the most commonly used ones, especially with your teachers. When teachers calculate grades, they tend to do that with the mean. So first you will find the sum. Remember, the sum means to add all the numbers together. First find the sum of the numbers in your data set. So this is your data set. Okay, here are your elements of the data set. So you can use your calculator, and you're just going to add up the numbers. 54 plus 60 plus 49 plus 54 plus 76 plus 68 plus 50 plus 62 plus 60 plus 76 plus 51 plus 48 plus 80 plus 73 plus 65 plus 60. And if you're doing this on the calculator, you want to go ahead and hit enter at this time. Let's see. And I got 986. Okay, next, then we want to divide the sum by how many numbers are in the data set. So, meaning how many elements are in the data set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to show that you're going to do the sum first by using a fraction. And we're going to divide that by 16. Okay, so down here was my sum, 986, and I'm going to divide by 16. And I get 61 and 625 thousandths. Okay, so that's my mean. Alright, the next one, not used as often, but you'll see it, is called the median. Let's see if I can, there we go. I can squeeze the numbers in too. Okay, so the median, I always thought of it as, going back up to the mean, my way of remembering the mean was that this was the mean one. Because if we did not have a calculator, this would not be fun to do. So this is the mean one, like a mean person. The median, the way I remembered this one, is that it's the middle number in the data set. And I'll explain this part in a minute. So median sounds like medium, small, medium, large. So that's the one that's in the middle. Now what's really important is that the numbers must be in order, okay, when we find the median. For example, we cannot go up in the set and just find the one that's in the middle, We have to put them in order first. So I like to mark them off as I write them in order to make sure that I haven't missed any. So let's see, I've got 48. Actually, I'm going to mark it off underneath in case I need to see these numbers again. 48, 49, I've got 50, 51, where did I say 51? Here it is. 54, I see another 54. 60. Another 60. Another 60. 62. 65. 68. 73. 76. Another 76. And 80. Okay. And I marked them off because it's really easy to miss a number. You want to make sure you get them all. Okay, so we're going to find the one that's exactly in the middle. So remember I had 16 total numbers. So 8 is half of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, because I have an even amount, okay, so 16, I don't have one in the middle. It's not odd. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 on each side of this line I just made. Okay, so that's where this part of the definition comes in. It says find the middle or the mean of the two middle numbers. So we're going to actually take these two in the middle and add them together and then divide by 2. Now, if they're the same number, it is going to be that number. Okay, 60 plus 60 is 120. If I divide by 2, I get 60. Okay. Alright, another commonly used, but not as much, is the mode. The mode is the number or numbers, because sometimes you have more than one. It's the number or number in your data set that appears most often. So the way I remembered this definition is mode is very close to most. 4 letters, the first 2 letters are the same. So you could have more than one mode, and sometimes you don't have a mode at all. I mean, if nothing repeats, you have no mode. If you have more than one thing that repeats the most, then you could have more than one. So the easiest way to find the mode is when your numbers are in order. So I see that 54 is here 2 times. Okay, 60 is here 3 times, so this is the most so far. I don't really care about 54 anymore. 76, that was only 2 times, not enough. Okay, so 60 repeated the most. So as you see, sometimes your measures of central tendency are the same. My mode and median were both the same. And my mean is close. Typically, if your numbers are evenly spread out, all of these might be very close if not the same. But what's interesting to me about statistics and measures of central tendency is once you understand that there's different ways to really measure a large set of numbers, then you start to question when people talk about averages, like, well, how did they calculate that? Another thing that we sometimes talk about or find is what's called the range. The range, it's not really about a number in the middle, but it tells us how spread out our data is. So to calculate the range, we're going to find the difference, and remember that means to subtract between the largest and smallest. So remember that when we talk about difference, we look for the word and that's what we're subtracting. So we're going to do the largest number minus the smallest number. Okay, the difference, subtract between the largest and the smallest. Large minus small. Okay, so again, going back up to our list where they're in order, 80 was my largest and 48 was my smallest. So to calculate the range, I'm going to do 80 minus 48, and I get 32.